Good day, YouTube. This is Jay Money with Falling Forward Financial. Just an update here on HITI. I've talked about them numerous times. They always have some good information coming out, some good news. And as you follow my channel, I'm into quite a few different MJ plays. I almost said it. Don't want to get the video demonetized. But I have talked about quite a few MJ plays, ETFs, and so on, IIPR, anything, picks and shovels that you can make money off of MJ stocks. But this is one of my favorites, and it's got a good price. It's actually got a good return. I'm in the green on my other account. A little bit behind on this one. Just kind of watching it and waiting for a buying opportunity again. But this is HITI, ticker HITI, and it's down over 50% in the last year, just kind of like a lot of the other MJ plays. Down over 30, we'll just call it 33% in the last month. In the last month, it's up over 2%. In the last week, it's a green again, 0.87, and here's a look at today, down 2%, but can get on these $4.30 dips, and maybe we'll hit another one, so maybe I'll put in a buy order on this one. But again, this is HITI, ticker HITI. I've been covering this one since it was over the counter, HITIF, HITID, and so on. Now it's here on the major exchanges. So like I said, it's MJ company, so feel free to pause and go over that. Founded in 2009. Volume of 62,000, that's kind of crazy. Average of 237,000, so not a much volume on this one at all. Market cap of 259 million. 52-week low of 365 and a high of 1125. Next earnings on this one is expected on May 2nd in the pre-market. And here's the last time I bought on this one, so just about a week ago at 492, 486, and almost now wish those wouldn't have filled, so because we're down about 30-40 cents since then. But I'll probably put in the order to lower my cost basis at the 430 range. So over on Microsoft Bing, currently as a buy, and doesn't give a 1-year price target like it usually does. But HITI's Canna Cabana launches MJ delivery on demand. I think I talked about this a little bit on my last video. I definitely mentioned Canna Cabana with them a couple times. So they have launched MJ delivery on demand in select Canna Cabana retail locations across Canada. I think they're calling this one, it's got a nickname of Amazon of MJ or something like that. So, and speaking of Amazon, they're pushing to, and one other company, I want to say Apple, I talked about a couple videos a while back in regards to trying to legalize it on the federal level. So I'm sure, well, I shouldn't say I'm sure, Amazon probably just wants a piece of that, but it's all good. So under the new program, customers will be guaranteed a delivery of all online orders from participating stores within 2 hours of their order being placed. So that's kind of crazy. So, but pretty cool. Everything's about efficiency these days. Or an hourly slot chosen by the customer between 12 p.m. and 8 p.m. outside of the 2-hour window. Under the premium delivery, customers will be charged $9.99 in Canada or $7.83 delivery fee with no minimum purchase required. So that's kind of interesting, and doesn't really cost all that much to have it delivered, especially if you're impaired and don't want to drive. So there, I said it. So I'm just being real. After an initial launch at select locations in Ontario, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan, the company intends to expand the program to cover all locations under the Canna Cabana banner across Canada, including in Alberta, where private delivery is set to launch on March 8th. So that's just right around the corner. By choosing to use delivery on demand when ordering from Canna Cabana, our customers will be able to access our unbeatable prices from the comfort of their own home. with the added peace of mind of knowing exactly when their delivery will arrive from the moment that they place their order. So, very cool. Just like anything else. So, they also added HITI plans to introduce this program in all provinces where it operates as soon as possible. So that could be a major catalyst in regards to this particular stock, and just that going up itself in regards to the delivery, and plus all the other things that they have going for them. So, and not much else in there. So moving on here, HITI been recognized as a top 10 ranked company in the diversified industries sector by the TSX Venture for 2022. So I think that says a lot. So they're a leading retail-focused MJ company with brick and mortar as well as global e-commerce assets. So the best of both worlds is pleased to report it had ranked top 10 performing diversified industry stocks in 2022 on the Venture 50, which is comprised of 50 from over 1,600 companies on the TSX Venture Exchange. So very good information, news for them. When I first started covering this stock, I think they had 80, we're going for 90 stores. That was last fall. Right here it says with 111 current locations spanning Ontario, Alberta, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan. So they are growing. I think I can't remember what their last projection, maybe 150 by the end of this year, that many locations. So, and while we're speaking of Ontario and Alberta, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan, I'm getting a number of Canadian viewers, subscribers, so that always helps. It's always cool to see people watching from outside of the United States, and just seeing how far the reach and the channel can get to. So I've also had people in Germany in the past, and some of the other countries are not coming to mind, but very cool. The company is also North America's first and only MJ Discount Club retailer featuring Canna Cabana, Meta MJ, and Meta MJ Supply. And I always like their names, including Grass City, Smoke Cartel, Daily High Club, and Dank Stop. So not only are they kind of comical in their names, but their brand is good, the company's good, and they're expanding, and I just like the stock. So high-tide execution risks remain, says analysts, and as you can see, this is just dated yesterday on the 24th. So calculations in the January quarter, Canadian rec sales grew sequentially by just 1%. This represents a slowdown on the 10% growth seen in October quarter and July's quarter 12% growth. So they're always growing, which I like to see. I think there's more to just the slower sales. Retail prices have continued to compress and have come under pressure from the rising store count, which is also resulting in cannibalization in terms of revenue store. For instance, as of February 7, there were 2,867 stores in Canada, more than twice as many than at the end of 2020, while since mid-October, another 200 stores have opened. So in slowing and more competitive Canadian market, both at the wholesale and retail, we expect the retail channel to consolidate, and it's companies such as HITI, which the analyst believes will emerge strong. So we'll just have to wait and see, but the stock has been down a little bit along with everything else, but it looks like it's coming back up today, so I'm kind of kicking myself for not buying more when I could have when it was on the dip, but I just continue to buy here and there, and dollar cost average into it. So HITI recognized as top 10 ranked company in the diversified industry sector on the TSX Venture 50. And so again, kind of some of the same information, so we're just going to scroll through it. For those of you that like the Yahoo look, and it is a little bit bigger print, so which is always nice, especially if you're looking at it on your phone. But again, you can go right to the source on Yahoo News and find this information. And here's just more about HITI, which we've already went over as well. So again, the article is called HITI recognized as top 10 ranked companies. So just type that in and you'll be able to find it if you want to find it for yourself. Over here on Reddit, right there, just as I said, the Amazon of weed, why HITI's latest tech acquisition is great news. And so, becoming unstoppable, exactly. So, just the more and more I talk about this one, read about it, it's just got a lot of good going for it. And unlike some of the other ones that I talk about, I'll just say it, Hexo and Sundial, probably due for an update on those as well. So, on StockTwits, currently at 442, a low of 365, high of 1125. Slow and steady, puff puff. Same thing we do every night. Pinky try to take over the world. So there you go. Added more finally over, wow, 7,000 shares, 3,000 more points needed to unlock greatness. Wow, that's impressive. Whoever Doc MP is, if you're listening, go ahead and comment, but that's got me beat on the shares, so can't imagine too many folks willing to sell at these price. I expect price escalation soon. Exactly. I'm not selling, probably never, well, I shouldn't say never, but not selling this one for quite some time, so you're going to get your biggest bang out of these, or if you want to say your biggest high from these MJ stocks in 2-5, probably more like a decade, once federal legalization happens and more states become legal. So just a thought. Not sure what that one is, but it's 8 cents. Week by week, average down and waiting to take off. So just as I said, same thing here. So MSN Money currently showing it as a buy, and Tip Ranks currently as a moderate buy, with 106% upside to 908, high of 1255, and low of 569. But if you have HITI, go ahead and list that in the comments, along with your cost basis, any other information you'd like to share. And if you haven't smashed that like button yet, go ahead and hit that for me, as well as subscribing and hit the bell so you're notified of when the next videos drop. Again, this is J Money, Falling Forward Financial. Happy trading, happy investing, stay green. Cheers.